Oh, I hope this is running. Oh, yes. Thank you very much for joining me on this video, folks. I got a bit of a plan for today, and it has to do with our rock pile. Now, that rock pile is what we used to build that stone hut. We still have, I don't know, 10 times more left of rock. So the one thing that this site has kind of been missing is a place where we can leave our gear sheltered from the elements. Usually that's not a problem when we're just 2 people inside the stone hut, but when we have 4 to 6 people here visiting, it gets kind of cramped. So I'm going to use basically the same idea that our good friends Gene and Simon did when they dug out a wonderful fire pit for us. I'm going to dig straight into the rock pile, and all the rocks that I get, I'm going to toss them over to the sides and build up some sidewalls. I'm going to leave some rocks at the bottom for a nice floor, and I haven't quite worked out the roof for it. I got like 4 or 5 different ideas, but we'll tackle that later. Today it's just going to be moving rock, so hope it's a good video. I'm moving rocks. Right now I'm just putting some aside because I might be bringing some back to build up the floor, and a lot of them will be coming up to build up some walls. If I do come up with some really nice good sized ones and I'm able to move them, I might move them to a different spot in case I want to use them on a different project. I think it's going to be a lot more tiring than I expected. I'm not complaining. I'm out in the woods doing what I don't know if it's doing what I love, but it's not bad. Oh, that's a good one. It's nice. When they're really square like that, you don't want to, or rectangular I should say, you don't want to waste them. Oof. Definitely a keeper. You want to when they're that long and you want to build a wall that's 1.5 to 2 feet, maybe even wider, having long pieces like that that can kind of overlap and kind of lock pieces into place, that does wonders to strengthen your wall. Learned that on this build. I'm no expert, but I learned a lot putting that one together. I started getting flat stones aside too for our flooring. I have piles everywhere. I am finding some massive rocks right now. Where were these when we were building them? Well, I mean, we found a lot of big ones there too. Oh, look at that beauty. That is, it's hard to explain why it's beauty, but it's a beauty. Oh. Brandon, if you're in the comments, is that a beauty? Wow. Can I lift it? Oh. I'm afraid I'll hurt my back. Just gonna roll it out of the way. Oh. And right next to it, oh wow. I mean, I was just planning on digging a hole to kind of have a makeshift storage shed, but right now I'm seeing a future build if I get more of these. So things are going well. This is not going to be finished today, I can guarantee you that. This is several weekends worth of work, but it's always fun to be out here. Just want to talk about this rock pile a bit because people always ask about it and about the property. And in the last video, Julia De Maria asked if we own this property, and yes, we are exceedingly lucky that this was kept in the family. This was owned by my great-great-grandfather, who gave it to his son, who gave it to his son, and gave it to his son, and my father gave it to me and my brother. So, so lucky that it was kept in the family. This is a fairly isolated area, and a lot of people would have sold that kind of property a long time ago, but so lucky that it was kept. And yeah, around 80 years ago, this was all farmland, very few trees, and that's why you have these rock piles for the most part. There was also some small mining operations, not a big industry, but you know, just basically by hand, and they would kind of prospect it for iron and copper and the like. But mostly this was farmland, and that's why you see these rock piles all over the place. The grounds here are not the best in terms of being good for agriculture, and it's very rocky, so they made these mounds everywhere. So it always plays in my mind that I'm moving the rocks that my forefathers probably moved by hand and by horse and cart. So it's kind of neat. They probably be thinking I'm crazy after all the work they did pulling those out of the ground. So yeah, it's always nice to kind of reflect on it. So thank you very much, Julia, and everybody else who comments. But you know, thanks for the questions. Keep them coming. Yep. There's a chunky one. It's not square, but I'm sure we can use it somewhere at some point. Can I move this one? a good one. That's a good one. Oh, I remember that. I remember that feeling. Oh. Boy. Ow. Another nice one. Oh. So many big rocks. Oh my god. Another beauty. Sorry, British people. I'm taking a little break from the work. Actually been sitting for a bit, and I did build up a bit of a sweat, and I'm a bit chilled, so I'm gonna have to go back to work pretty soon. But it's good to, especially when you're moving that heavy stuff, it's good to kind of take a little break every once in a while, just let the muscles rest a little bit. But it also gave me an opportunity, and this is something that I'm trying to do a bit more going forward. Sorry, the battery died as I was talking. That happens as it starts to get cold, that the batteries don't last as long. But as I was saying, sometimes I get comments on the videos, and I feel like they deserve a more thorough answer than just a quick reply. And one of them came in the last video, or the last two videos, from Bob Simmons, and basically indicating that he liked the videos, but he asked, you know, do you have to kill live trees? And the answer is obviously no, you don't have to. But we were clearing out a spot, and there was a lot of really small spruce there, and it was kind of taking the room that I was looking at expanding a bit to a new site. Now this forest over here is a spruce forest. It's a white spruce forest, and they're very nice. They're very, you know, beautiful, especially in winter, because they when they get coated in the snow, they're just gorgeous. But they just dominate the landscape. They're all over the place. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands easily. And basically, like, if you look right here, these weren't here like 2 years ago. Like, they just grow in tremendous numbers. So clearing out a couple here and there, I'm being 100% serious. It does not hurt this forest. Actually, it may in time give opportunities for other trees where our other main site is, where it used to be, where we used to go all the time. There's maple trees now growing there and hazelnut trees. So we're not hurting this property. I understand your concern, and I feel the same way. I am a bit of a a tree hugger myself, so I totally get where you're coming from, but honestly, it's really not causing any harm to this forest. We do care about it a lot, and we're never going to do anything to endanger it. Every once in a while, yes, we're going to clear some trees, because we like to make this a nice usable site. This property is quite large. It's very, very large, and we're just using a very small limited area for our campsites. And we still go out and we explore it, which is great, so especially in the winter, going out with snowshoes and all that. So again, Bob, thank you so much for the question. This is not to put you on the spot. It's just to kind of give an explanation that clearing a couple of these little spruce trees, it's not going to impact this forest. Trust me. But thank you very much. That's a good one. That's a great one. Oh, keep that one. Ooh. Ow! Ow! Oh, it might be too big for me. Oh, whoa. Well, I haven't seen our gray jays. It's likely because we usually see them in the morning. But it's probably because our favorite peanut serving individual, Sandra's, not here on this trip. But man, there's no wind at all. It's just gorgeous. Although there's a possibility of rain, so I'm going to roll the dice and try to cook up my supper. I might have to bail on it, but I'm going to try to do it. Well, this is what we got so far. A fair amount of work. I mean, there's still a lot to do. There are some really big ones, like some of these that I cannot move with the tools I have on hand. Even at that, even if I brought a pry bar, I kept calling it a crowbar when I'm in a pry bar. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to move these on my own, but I'm going to bring a pry bar next time, and hopefully at some point I can have a little bit of assistance if I can't. In this section here, I'm going to push that out a little bit. There's some room back there, and there seems to be a really nice one at the bottom there, so I want to try to keep that one if I can. So at this point, really happy with what I've got so far, and I want to have some supper. They are calling for rain, and it is overcast, so I'm gonna try. If it starts to rain, I didn't bring, unfortunately, that's on my part, I didn't bring any rain gear, rain jackets, or anything like that. So I'm gonna try to start cooking a fire, or start a fire and cooking supper. If it starts to rain, I may have to bail on it. we have quite a bit of kindling left over from trips with some really good friends. Came over from Nova Scotia, Mark and his son Jake, and they left us a whole bunch of kindling. We're gonna save that for this upcoming winter because it's really nice heartwood. But what I came to get, it's been raining a bit lately, which is great because we need it. And so to get my fire started, I keep this stuff in here that's nice and dry, and should work out pretty good to get ourselves a pretty good fire, hopefully, for our supper. So I mentioned the kindling that we had was from friends who had come over to do. Actually, it was a 5-night in the middle of winter, and I'll try to put a link up there. Hopefully, I can make it work. But it was a really awesome trip. I mean, the guys came out in the middle of winter from very far away and did so much work, but we had so much fun, so many laughs. So anyway, one thing that we did, Mark and I, I mean, one out of many things that was done that weekend, but we came up with this this little kind of version of a Swedish torch. Basically just kind of sawed through it and cut in, and then have some wire around it. So that's what I'm going to try to cook with. It's a little bit heavier than I would like it to be. I think it got wet in the last couple of days, so hopefully this will work. But we're going to give it a try, see if we can get ourselves a bit of a something to cook our supper with. And I'll often start a fire with the ferro rod, sometimes a lighter. This time I decided to go with matches. I hope it's not cheating. Sorry, Nancy. Well, folks, I forgot to bring a spoon, so I had to try to make one. not going to be fancy. It's not going to look pretty. Hopefully it works. Alright, nothing fancy, but I love this meal. Just some instant chicken noodle soup. So along with the chicken noodle soup mix, I do like to bring some leftover rotisserie chicken that I usually keep frozen. And I've also added this time some candied ginger, because ginger and chicken, it goes phenomenal together. So we're going to try this out. This is my first time trying this out. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. This torch is actually working too well. It's just instant boil. Well, this torch was definitely overkill for my little cup of soup. I probably have like 3 hours left of fire that I could have, but it worked. Whether my not so fancy spoon will work. Well, works. After moving all those rocks, I'm pretty sure anything would be delicious right now. Should have put more ginger. You can't taste it. Oh, there's the ginger. Big chunk of it. Woo. So one more tour. What we got? Still a lot more to go. So we dug in. I want to go a bit deeper, take out some of the big rocks that are lodged in there, go a little bit wider, and then once that's all dug out and level, I'm going to line the floor with a whole bunch of flat rocks to give ourselves a bit of a rock floor. These are the big rocks that I've moved aside that hopefully we can use at some point. And these are the really nice rocks that we can kind of build some other kind of walls or supports. Not sure what we're going to do with them, but these are really good. So I kind of had some ideas there, but I decided to pull away from that because we really need to dig out the ground to get kind of a build going. So nothing 100% planned, but there's definitely options. I'm really happy with the day. It was fun. It's always fun to be out here. Yeah, it's so, I really appreciate you guys coming out with me for these kinds of day trips. Can't always do overnighters, but it's always a good day out here. So thank you again for watching. Still gotta walk out. Hopefully I can beat the darkness. I still gotta finish up my supper and then pack everything up, but I'm not overly concerned. I got a headlamp and not too far to go. So thank you again, folks. So appreciated. Hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.